Life is a script, and every story holds a lesson. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to have a head start, effortlessly gliding through challenges, while others struggle to find their way? Is it just fate, or is there something deeper at play? Meet Nora and Nancy, two sisters born just minutes apart, but whose journeys in life couldn't have been more different. They grew up in a world where comparison seemed to be the foundation of their every step. One is gifted with innate abilities. The other is constantly striving to prove her worth. Growing up, the world saw Nora as the natural leader with charming charisma and talent. But Nancy had to work a little harder to learn and adapt, often feeling overshadowed. But as we know, life isn't a race. It's about the lessons we learn along the way. Join us as we follow Nora and Nancy on their journeys of self-discovery, growth, and finding success on their terms. As children, Nora and Nancy were inseparable. The bond of twinhood was strong, yet the differences in their personalities started to surface early. Nora seemed to shine gracefully, always at the top of the class, the first to speak up, and easily noticed by those around her.
Watch this, Nancy. I can do it better than anyone. I don't have to work at it. It's like I was born to do this.
Nora, the younger of the twins, seemed to have everything effortlessly figured out. Her talents came naturally, and she thrived in any situation. She was the one who could capture the attention of everyone around her with a simple smile. But for Nancy, the older of the twins, things weren't so easy. She didn't have the natural charisma her sister had. She found herself having to work harder, learn more, and struggle through things that came easily to Nora. Every skill, every achievement, had to be earned through tireless effort. Despite her quiet intelligence and diligent nature, it seemed as though she would always be overshadowed by Nora's graceful shine. She didn't seem to mind, but it often left her feeling overlooked.
Why does it always come so easily for you, Nora? Why does everyone look at you and not me?
Nancy's frustration grew as she saw her sister praised for her natural abilities. She admired Nora but couldn't help but feel the sting of being seen as second place. But what Nancy didn't know was that her strength was quietly taking root. It just hadn't fully blossomed yet.
I feel like I'm always trying to catch up, but no matter how hard I try, she gets all the attention. Am I not good enough?
As the years passed, the gap between the sisters only grew wider. Nora excelled whether it was in sports, academics, or social situations. Her abilities seemed limitless. Friends and even strangers gravitated toward Nora, leaving Nancy feeling invisible. Nancy, on the other hand, continued to struggle. She worked diligently, but the praise never came. Nancy began to internalize the feeling of being less than.
I got the lead role in the school play, Nancy. I'm going to be amazing.
That's great, Nora. I'm sure you'll be wonderful. I'll be here, supporting you.
At home, their parents continued to praise Nora.
Nora, you're the future of this family. You'll go far. We know you'll succeed.
But Nancy, though loved, was often left in the shadows, overshadowed by Nora's accomplishments. In their family, the expectations placed on Nora were immense, while Nancy's hard work often went unnoticed.
Nora, darling, your performance at school today was incredible. You're going places. Nancy, sweetie, don't worry. Just keep trying hard. You'll get there too, just like your sister.
Yeah, Mom. I'll just keep trying. But will it ever be enough?
Nancy began to wonder if her efforts were ever enough, or if they would always fall short of Nora's flawless shine. This emotional weight grew heavier each day. Nora's success wasn't just academic or artistic. It was in every part of her life. And yet, despite all her achievements, she didn't fully understand the quiet struggle Nancy was facing. It seemed like the world was telling Nancy, "You have to try harder, do better." But no matter how hard Nancy tried, she never felt like she measured up.
Why does she get all the praise? What about me? Do I have to be perfect to be seen?
The frustration built within her, and she began to rebel against the life that seemed to promise success only to her younger sister. Nancy's frustrations only deepened when Nora's outgoing nature made her the focus of attention. Suddenly, men who once ignored Nancy were now vying for her sister's heart.
Hey Nancy, check out all these guys who want to hang out with me. Isn't it funny how they all flock to me?
Yeah, it's funny. I guess I'm just invisible to them.
Nancy began to internalize the belief that she wasn't as worthy of attention or love. As Nora received compliments and praise, Nancy withdrew into herself, feeling increasingly inadequate. But even Nora, the seemingly perfect one, had her struggles. Beneath the confidence and success was a young woman who was silently battling her insecurities. She began to feel the weight of being the chosen one. Expectations were high, and with each new challenge, Nora was faced with a crushing fear that she might not live up to the image everyone had of her.
I've been running on this idea that I'm supposed to have it all together. But what if I fail? What if they realize that I'm just as lost as everyone else?
One evening, after a particularly challenging day, Nancy had reached her breaking point. At school, she had been passed over for a leadership role she'd worked so hard for. At church, Nora was the one everyone praised. At home, their parents had begun to rely more on Nora for help with decisions. Nancy couldn't bear it anymore.
I'm done being in your shadow, Nora. I've had enough of being the one who has to work for everything while you just breeze through. I can't keep living like this.
Nancy's outburst echoed through their home, and it shocked Nora. She had no idea that her sister was carrying such heavy burdens. Nora realized that while she had been given so many opportunities, Nancy's path had been far more difficult. And that night, Nora vowed to be different.
I didn't realize how much I've taken for granted, Nancy. I've always had things handed to me, but you've had to fight for everything. I'm sorry, I'll do better. We'll do better together.
The two sisters turned to God for guidance. Nancy sought peace, strength, and determination to do better, not for the approval of others, but for herself.
God, please help me. I want to be strong. I want to believe in myself, not because of what others think, but because I know you've given me something special inside. Help me trust in that.
It was in this quiet moment of reflection and prayer that Nancy found her strength. She began to realize that her worth wasn't based on the applause of others. It was rooted in her faith and her journey. Nora too sought God, praying for the strength to navigate the pressure that weighed on her heart.
I've learned that I don't need to be perfect, just authentic. I was born with an advantage, but the pressure to always excel kept me from truly feeling fulfilled. Now, I see that staying true to who I am is enough.
Not everything in life comes naturally, but the beautiful thing is, I can learn. I can become better. I don't need to be anyone else. I have my strengths, and I will not be defined by comparison. I will grow at my own pace, and that's okay.
Henceforth, the sisters found peace in the silence, knowing they were both on a journey, one of self-discovery, faith, and love. This time they truly saw each other, not as rivals but as sisters walking side by side. And so, their lives began to change. Nora stepped into the spotlight, not because she had to, but because she finally embraced her unique gifts. She became a sought-after speaker and a leader in her community, but most importantly, she learned to be at peace with who she was.
I didn't expect to find someone who would love me so completely, but I did. And now, I know that I'm worthy of love, not because I'm perfect, but because I am enough.
Nancy too found her calling. She became a respected counselor, helping others discover their inner strength, just as she had done for herself. She met someone who saw her, truly saw her, and loved her for who she was. Together, they built a beautiful life.
Love isn't about being perfect. It's about being real with each other, growing together. I've learned that now, and I've found someone who loves me for who I am.
Now, the two sisters stand side by side, strong, confident, and fulfilled. They've learned that they didn't need to compete. They simply needed to grow at their own pace and trust the journey. Nora and Nancy's bond was stronger than ever. They celebrated each other's victories and found joy in knowing that their paths had brought them to where they were meant to be.
Thank you, Nora. It took me a while to see it, but I'm starting to understand now. I don't need to be like anyone else. I'm enough just as I am.
We've both come so far, haven't we? I'm proud of the women we've become. And I'm proud of you, Nancy.
I couldn't have asked for a better sister. We've both learned so much. We're stronger together.
And so, Nora and Nancy embraced their futures, separate yet united, each following her path but always supporting the other. They had learned that life isn't about how fast you get there, but about who you become along the way. They had overcome the struggle, and now they stood tall, proud of who they were and what they had achieved. Life isn't about comparison. Each of us has a unique path. Whether you're like Nora, confidently stepping forward, or like Nancy, quietly discovering your strength, you have a purpose. Embrace your journey, trust the process, and know you are enough. Nora and Nancy learned that true success is not measured by recognition, but by who you become. Don't measure your worth by others' journeys. Embrace yours and let your light shine. Thank you for joining us on this journey. May Nora and Nancy's story inspire you to believe in yourself, wherever you are. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel for more inspiring original dramas like this. Every story holds a lesson. What's yours?